Idaho is a state in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. It shares a small portion of the Canadian border with the province of British Columbia. It also borders the states of Montana, Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Washington, and Oregon. The state capital and far largest city is Boise, and there are around 1.8 million people living in the whole state, and it is growing very fast at a rate of more than 20% per decade. There are 4 other cities that are more or less important, which are Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Coeur d'Alene, and Twin Falls, all populated by over 50,000 people in the city itself, so way more actually in the metropolitan areas. The state actually has some of the most diverse and beautiful landscapes. The state is separated into different distinct geographical areas. To the north we have the Idaho Panhandle, closely linked with eastern Washington. In the middle and south we have the Snake River Plain, which has the most of the population and agricultural land, and to the south we have a part of the Great Basin, which is an important part of western USA. In this part we're gonna be looking at the northern extreme part of Idaho, which basically is anything north of I-90, and of course a little south too, because we're gonna include the city of Coeur d'Alene. So yeah, let's get started with the north. So we are very close to the Canadian border here, well actually bordering, and there isn't pretty much anything happening here. There are lots of mountains and here an agricultural valley. However, the thing to notice in Idaho is that everywhere is growing fast, like even the most remote areas are fast growing areas, so that's something very characteristic of this state. Let's take a look at this first city, which is Ferry, populated by 2,500 residents. So we get a little old central area here, some old buildings. Some are not quite used anymore, but also some are, and are small shops. Yeah, there are quite a good amount of small shops, and here we have a little square. So yeah, it's pretty decent for a small American town in the west. But of course we get a large amount of parking, because we are in a very car-centric area. You are not gonna find any public transit, obviously. So this is for the old town. So it's yeah, it's nice little old town, but only problem is that I'd say that you can't really access it apart from by car, because it's kind of away from all the neighborhoods. Let's get a look at a few neighborhoods. For example, down here it seems to be a kind of strip mall environment, small strip mall, but we got a nice sidewalk here, good sidewalk, like for a small city this size, pretty decent. And yeah, seems to be a lot of retail around this road all the way. Let's go inside the actual neighborhood to see how people live. So yeah, they have smallish homes made of wood, often. Because of course here in Idaho we also have a lot of trees everywhere. But also some brick housing, which we didn't find at all in Maine and in Vermont. It was really 100% wood. So yeah, the neighborhoods are made of smallish homes, down here, and looks to be pretty much the same. Is this a park, by the way, or a ski resort maybe? No, it's not a ski resort. Let's get on this bridge. So yeah, this is the old town. This is the park I was talking about, that might or might not exist. And yeah, we can see we are in a pretty mountainous region. There was some tall mountains in the background. Quite beautiful area, to be honest. And then probably what would be the more wealthy areas here on top of the hills. Got an airport. Obviously we are pretty far away from everywhere, so often those type of small towns have an airport. So yeah, it seems like this is the central town for many small communities around in the agricultural land. So let's get a look at Sandpoint, which is the second major city we're gonna look at, because the main one will be Coeur d'Alene, of course. So around 10,000 people live in the city itself, and 20,000 in the overall area around it. So this is already a more populated place. Let's get a look at the central area. A lot of parking, of course, behind, but not so many people walking. There are quite a sizable amount of little shops. And some bike paths. That's cool. Little square. It seems like a pretty new place. Like, I don't see many old buildings. I saw a few in the beginning, but yeah, this seems for the most part pretty new. And we also got a little square down here, and there is a train station as well. Surprising, because we are pretty far away from everything here. This is better than than Montpellier in Vermont, at least. And the beach as well. This is cool. Nice park. And yeah, in general, seems like a pretty decent place. Although very car-centric, unfortunately. Like, I don't see many people walking or no one biking. Let's get a look down here. Seems like a pretty well-off place. Like, at least way more than the place we were previously. Yeah, this is a beautiful area. Nice lake with view of the mountains around. Very nice. We did see a couple of apartment buildings as well in the central area. Yeah, this is a good place. I didn't expect to see places like this up here in North Idaho. It seems like they even made a whole path near the road. That was what I was looking for. That's very cool. That's even something that we don't necessarily have here in France, and I never understand why. Like paths between small towns. Yeah, and here it doesn't continue, but still that's pretty good. Let's get a look at some neighborhoods that are not necessarily wealthy to see it all. Yeah, even here we have some small, well, it's not bike paths, but biking indication. I don't really know what the purpose of those are, but yes, it shows that they want to help bikers, even though I don't know how this would help. Yeah, I guess it's probably not very expensive to live up there right now, but might be a place that's gonna become very expensive in the years to come for the hype around this part of the country.